Welcome to Why is Nutrition So Effing Confusing? Today is episode number 1. Let's take a look at why nutrition is so effing confusing. In episode 1, the reason why nutrition is so effing confusing is because everybody uses it for different purposes and there becomes confusion. So you'll see some trainers, they spout these diets, these foods, these superfoods, these fasting, this keto, this BS that. And overall, you think it's doing one thing, when in fact it's doing a complete opposite. We generally use food and nutrition for multiple purposes, and there is a blurring of the lines. Different people have different outcomes and different goals when it comes to nutrition, and they're not always potentially in your best interest. So let's take a deeper look into it. There are 4 purposes you can use food, nutrition, and general diets for. Number 1 is what most people kind of move into the fitness industry for help with nutrition for, and it's weight management. So we can use food and generally calories, the amount of calories, to control our weight management. So if we want to lose weight, gain weight, or maintain a weight, we can use generally calories and different diets and foods to achieve that. The second thing, and generally the most important thing that usually gets put to the side, is we should be eating for health. Actually having foods that are nutritious for us and good for us and help our bodies function internally in a good way. Number 3 is performance. So I can eat for my external performance. So let's say I want to go run a half marathon, lift some weights, whatever it may be. I need to be potentially eating certain foods at certain times to get the best effect from that food, to get the energy levels right, to make sure I'm performing at the right time, to improve my overall performance. And we also eat for pleasure. We see that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we should have all 4 of these things in place, and they're working generally well for all kind of points. So I want to eat for weight management so I don't put on an excess weight, but I also need to make sure that my health and the way my body internally is working is sorted through the foods that I'm eating. I also want, because I train a lot, I also want a performance aspect, so I don't want to be crashing and I need to be recovering well from my training. But also I like food. I like a bit of chocolate every now and again. So I also want to eat for a little bit of pleasure. Now, the problem what we've talked about before, different diets and different foods have different purposes. So let's look at these 4 things individually. Weight management. Weight management is simply about calories in versus calories out. Now, you can eat really healthfully and improve your health, but if you overeat the amount of calories that you need, you're going to gain weight. But you're eating really healthfully, but you're eating too much, therefore you're gaining weight. Now, it's also true because it's just based on calories. I could eat nothing but rubbish. I could eat just McDonald's and lose weight. However, will that be good for my health and performance? No. Terrible. Now, you also see this with some diets. There's still this weird fixation that carbs are bad. They're not. I love carbs. Carbs are really important, especially when you need performance. If you're going to train and are exercising, you need carbs. So, the fact that you're eradicating carbs, let's say in this example, will not help you lose weight. Being in a calorie deficit will help you lose weight. Now, we also like to kind of make sure that we're performing well. However, that can also be to the detriment of health. Now, I've known and seen some, let's say, ultra runners where their diets are very poor. They'll eat a lot of sugary snacks, cake, chocolate, because the sugar is going to be used in their exercise and help them, in this essence, perform. But what's that doing for the health? terrible. Now, they may get the calories right and they're not actually gain weight from it because of the sheer amount of running they're also doing. But them diet choices, while they may be managing their weight, and actually it's helping their performance a little bit because of just the sheer amount of energy they need, their health can be kind of compromised because of it. Now, different examples also include things like, let's go MMA, mixed martial arts, or boxing. When they go in for their weigh in the day or the kind of the point before they go into fight, they're making choices that eliminate certain things from the body, usually water. They're doing some very extreme things to their body to lower their weight management. Now, is that good for their health? And in a lot of ways, no, it's not. And you also see a lot of fighters, when they crash their weight to meet a point on their scales, their performance drops because simply they've depleted their body that much. Now, you really need to think about, what are you trying to get from food? What is the purpose of the diet or the foods that you're consuming? If you've gone to another trainer or you've bought some nutrition plan that's generally generic of some said trainer, what is the overall purpose of that diet? Because I can guarantee most of the time it's just for you to lose weight. They're not really bothered about your health. They're not too concerned about your performance. And there's definitely no pleasure eating. You know, when you see these chicken and broccoli, eat plenty of it, chicken and broccoli, chicken and broccoli. Now, they're just going to make sure you don't have too much chicken and broccoli that you then gain weight or maintain. You'll lose it because of the amount of calories there. It's not really about what you're eating. It's about the amount that you're eating. And the fact that you've omitted so many different foods and nutrients from your diet, your health's compromised. You know, the fact that you've eliminated fats, eliminated carbohydrates, these are needed in the body for multiple reasons, and you've just removed them. Your body's not going to quite function as well as it should do, even if you're losing weight. And then let's talk about pleasure eating. Chicken and broccoli, really, you're getting no pleasure out of that. Sooner or later, you're going to just crave some taste. And the key word to that is then, how sustainable are these diets? That is one of the biggest things you should look at. Number one, what's the overall purpose of the diet or the food choices that you're making? And two, is it sustainable in the long run? Because if you really want to be successful, it needs to be. Now, as I've already said, you can achieve all of this. You can manage your weight through your food choices. You can make sure that your health is looked after, and you can make sure that your performance is not going to dip, and you're going to actually meet the demands of your training. And you can also eat for pleasure every now and again. So let's have a look at the next part of how we actually achieve that. How do we get that balance in those 4 areas? Now, I'm going to be brutally honest. If you don't want to strike a balance between all 4, and you're just bothered about losing weight, you're not bothered about your health, you're not bothered about your performance, switch off now, because you're in the total wrong mindset. You should be pursuing a balance between all 4, a healthy balance between all 4. The food choices we have should be maintaining our weight. It should be helping us remain healthy and help overall bodily function. It should be helping you meet your daily demands for life and performance. And we should be eating every now and again of something we like, because we like food overall. Now, you strike a balance slowly. Now, actually just doing all 4 purposes in one go, you ain't going to do it. You're not. Now, the first goal you should look for generally, as far as I'm concerned, is health. Just start to make some good, healthy choices, making sure that food groups, I'm getting lots of fruit and veg in initially, and, kind of getting a good variety of protein into your diets from beans, lentils, meats, if you're not any vegetarian or vegan. Get them in. Start eradicating stuff that you generally know is not great for you. Your fizzy pop, your biscuits, your crisps, your chocolates. Start chucking in their proper food and start cooking properly. The next thing is you need to work out your calories. Now, generally, the method I use and the formula I use is a Schofield calculation. So that works out your BMR, so your basal metabolic rate. That's your baseline of calories you need, and then we add on a little bit for kind of activity, and it will give you a roundabout figure the amount of calories. And we're going to make sure that we're either on that if we want to maintain weight, or under that if we want to start losing. Now, when I say under it, there is a golden area, because if you go too low, you're going too low and you'll crash, you'll start bouncing. If you go crashing too low, this is a problem with some diets, your body will spring back and you'll overeat further down the line. So there's a golden area, don't go too low. And generally too low, we only go 500 calories under that point. So first thing we want to look at is generally just making some good healthy choices. Then we're going to start reining in the calories a little bit to get our weight management in place. Now, performance is about choice, so quality of food and timing. That's a little bit harder, and generally there is a little bit of kind of hit and miss with that. You will need certain foods in the body at certain times to help a certain outcome overall. And this is where some diets can fail. You know, like some of these fasting diets, great. If you want to fast, if it fits your lifestyle, fantastic, go mad. However, you only lose weight if you're in a calorie deficit for that day and for that week. So don't give me that it's better than anything else. It's not. It's if it meets your demand. However, I've seen some people that go into fasting, and because their energy demand is kind of asking at certain points when they should be fasting, it's detrimental. It's detrimental. People haven't got the energy demand to meet their lifestyle or their training because they're fasting. So no, timing and choice matters, whether that's the morning, the afternoon, the evening. It's going to move and tweak in line with that. And we should save a little bit for eating for pleasure. Now, the way I approach clients is a 90% to 10% rule. 90% of your diet should be health, weight management, and performance. 10% leaves us a bit on the side for eating for pleasure. So, to help you get started, the 4 P's of success: prioritize, plan, have some patience, and look for progression. Prioritize health and weight management. We want to get them in place early. Now, to do that best, you need a plan of action. Now, when you're planning, do not change everything in one go. Pick 1 or 2 things, work on them, get better at them, and go from there. So here's a simple plan to prioritize health and my overall calories. So let's say my calories end up being 1,250, there or thereabouts. Plan number 1 is to try and meet that daily. Yep. Plan number 2 is to then look at my diet, and I'm going to make some healthy choices. I've picked on some things, namely my breakfast, because my breakfast is quite poor. You know, I have cereal that's just full of sugar, and I'm actually going to change that for something a bit more nutritious for me. And that's all I'm going to do for the next week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Every day I'm going to try and hit my calories, and I'm going to try and make my breakfast a bit more nutritious, because at the minute it's generally just not that healthy. It's not got that much nutrient in, and that's what I'm going to stick to. I'm going to have some patience with it. I'm going to have some discipline with it. I'm going to look for progression points. Now, I guarantee over those, let's say 2 weeks, that day by day your calories went, oh, I went over, oh, I went under, oh, I was there or thereabouts. That's where the patient needs to come in. Now, if you have a day where you go under, don't panic. The next day, just get back on track. If you have a day where you go over, don't panic. Learn your lessons of why you potentially went over. The next day, just get back on track. Stick to the plan. Don't look to kind of, oh, I had over that day, so technically I need to starve myself now. No, you don't. You've had a day that you've not been in deficit. It is what it is. The next day, just get back on the overall plan. So stick to them 4 P's. Prioritize, plan, have some patience, and look to progress things nice and slowly. So that was episode 1 of Why is Nutrition So Effing Confusing? And as we've just gone through, it's because everyone uses that food and nutrition and diets for different purposes, not quite understanding the outcomes that's going to happen, or just only kind of wanting one thing to happen when it not necessarily being that great for us. I hope you find the episode insightful, interesting, and a little bit useful. Make sure you take a look out for episode 2 coming in about a week or 2 weeks, probably about 2 weeks or so. Have a great day, everyone. If you need any help or advice with exercise, health, or nutrition, look me up. Have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye.